Hey guys, so this is going to be a video about the time that I failed my NCLEX. So it's probably been maybe 6, 7 months since I have been able to say that out loud and not feel embarrassed by it. So um, if you have failed the NCLEX or you are worried about failing the NCLEX if you haven't taken it yet, what you are feeling is normal, and honestly, you aren't the first person to fail it. You will not be the last person to fail it, and you can take it again. So please don't be discouraged. That's my first motivational pep talk, and I'll probably have like another one here at the end. But I'm gonna just get into it. So I graduated nursing school in December of 2017. During the last semester, like the last couple of months, they helped us send in all of our stuff to the State Board of Nursing. So the only thing that we had to wait for is basically our authorization to test from Pearson VUE. So I got my authorization to test on October the 28th, 2017. And actually, no, I'm sorry. I submitted my registration October 28th, 2017. So I registered October 28th, 2017. And I got my authorization to test October 28th, 2017. And I scheduled my test for January the 24th. I wanted to take it as soon as possible because I had already had a job lined up straight out of nursing school. So in the meantime, I was going to work and do another job at a nursing home or whatever. So I had applied for a temporary license, and all of that had gone through. So I had my temporary license, and I was gonna start applying to a nursing home. And what I was using to study at the time was the NCLEX RN, the blue and yellow app that you can get on your iPhone. And I also used the Point. It's a product from Lippincott because that's what we use in nursing school. So I was using those two back and forth, and I would occasionally look at my notes and stuff. So January 24th comes around, and I was so nervous. They actually, the people from the testing center actually called me early that morning, maybe around 9 or 10 or something like that. And they were like, hey, people got finished with their test earlier than expected. Do you want to come in and do your test earlier than 2 p.m.? Because that's when it was scheduled. I don't know if I said that. But anyways, so I was like, no, I need to feel all this anxiety for however many hours left that I got. So I told them no. I tried to eat before. I think I tried Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I tried to eat Chick-fil-A before I went in, and I was so sick to my stomach I could not eat at all. I didn't take any snacks, nothing to drink, none of that. I just went in there. And, when they get in, they take a picture and they check your sleeves and your pockets and all that kind of stuff. And I remember, seeing, people that I had went to school with there that were, already tested and stuff. So I get in there, I sit down, and I prayed, and I started taking my test. And when you're taking the test and you just know you're not answering none of these questions right, not one, I knew I wasn't answering none of my questions right. So me and my classmates and I, we had a Facebook group, and I think this is kind of one of the things that also kind of set me back a little bit. In the Facebook group, people who had already taken their test, they would say how many questions they got before their test cut off. So as I was taking my test, I was thinking to myself, like, oh, somebody's test cut off at 75, and I got to question 75 and my test didn't cut off. So my anxiety is creeping up because I'm using other people's stopping points as benchmarks. So I get to question 100 and my test doesn't cut off. And I don't know when I got my first break, or because it prompts you when you have a break, but I didn't take it. I did not take a break. I was like, I gotta finish. So I'm going through, getting to 200, whatever. Test doesn't cut off. I finally take my second break, but I didn't take any time. Like I went to the bathroom and like came right back, sat down, and started taking my test. And all the time, like I'm knowing that I'm getting these answers wrong because I'm getting the same type of question. So if you don't know anything about the NCLEX is a max of 265 questions. You get 6 hours to take it, and basically it tries to see if you are a safe nurse. So once you answer enough questions correctly, the test will shut off and say, oh, good, you're good. I think you have to get the test has to prove that you are 95% proficient. So I got to 235 and my test cut off. Now, let me just say this. I know people who have gotten the full 265 questions and have passed. So if you got 265 questions, please do not feel discouraged because you don't know until you know. So that's my second motivational speech, okay? Wait until you get your results. But anyways, 235 questions. I walked out and I just knew I failed. Like people say that they walk out, like everybody walks out and they feel like they felt the NCLEX. Like I know for a fact that I had failed. I knew it. Like I said, just because I was getting the same type of questions over and over again. And what the NCLEX will do is it will try to give you chances after chance after chance until finally it just decides like you're not getting it. You're gonna have to come back. So I left and I was just kind of, I don't know. I don't really know how I felt. So fast forward, a couple of days passed by. Now, you guys, I didn't tell anybody when my test was. Only like maybe 2 people. I think I told my boyfriend and one of my friends. I think that's like the only people that I told. I didn't even tell my mom when I was testing because I was so afraid that I was going to fail. And I did. So here in Arkansas, I don't know about any other places, but here in Arkansas, the State Board of Nursing updates at 6 a.m. So a lot of them will say 48 hours, 48 hours from your test time. Here, 6 a.m., the State Board of Nursing updates. So on the 28th, I went online and I checked my State Board of Nursing license online. Now, remember, I told you guys I got a temporary license. Right there on my temporary license, where it used to say active, it said null and void. And my heart sunk. Because even though like I felt like I had failed, it's something about like seeing it. But if that wasn't enough, because I was like, still trying to keep the hope alive, you can go to Pearson View 48 hours after your test, and you can pay for the unofficial results. I think it's like $2. And I don't know why I needed to do this, because, I already knew I had failed, but I went on Pearson VUE, paid my $2, and got my unofficial results. And sure enough, I don't know if you guys will see this, but I took a picture of it. It says fail. And I cried. I remember I had to actually leave the house and drive, and I cried and I cried and I cried because I'm like, I have a job. I'm going to lose my job. But then I was like, hold on a second. I can just hurry up and take it again. Well, I did not know, or yeah, I didn't know. I must have missed it somewhere that you have to wait to take your NCLEX again. So the same day that I found out that I failed, so on the 28th, when I found out I failed, I went ahead and re-registered, paid my money again, because it's like $300. I think it's expensive, y'all, but I'm pretty sure I think it's like $300 to retest. And I went on the state board and submitted all that kind of stuff that I needed the same day on January the 28th. And I can remember, like, we were supposed to go on vacation, and like a week went by, and I was like, where's my authorization to test? So I called Pearson VUE, and I'm like, I haven't got my authorization to test yet. And they're like, yeah, well, when did you take your NCLEX? And they pulled it up or whatever, like, oh, you just took it on January 24th. You have to wait 45 days. Y'all have no idea how, like, I can't even describe how hurt I was. Like, I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. 45 days. So now I'm stressed out because my job, like, my job was supposed to start, like, I think at the beginning of March or something like that. So now I'm stressed out. So I get an email from my nurse recruiter at my job on January 30th, because remember, I have not told anybody that I failed yet. I get an email January 30th, and they're like, hey, you know, we have your test date down for January 24th. You know, we haven't heard anything. So now I finally had to, like, break down. I broke down and I called my mom. Like, after I found out that I have to wait 45 days, I broke down and called my mom. And I was like, I'm about to lose my job. They want to know something. I got to wait 45 days. I'm not going to be able to start work. So fast forward, like, now it's time to put it into gear. Because I'm like, okay, next time I take this test, like, I have to pass. So I'll get to the job thing here later on in the video. I really don't want this to be that long. But I started using UWorld and a Saunders book. And I didn't originally use UWorld because one of my instructors was like, don't get UWorld. Everybody's failing using UWorld. So I didn't get it. And I really wish that I would have, y'all. If anybody asks me what they should use, this is not sponsored, okay? I don't have enough people on here to be sponsored. Not an ad, none of that. I'm just going to tell you what worked for me, and hopefully if you are looking for something that will work for you, hopefully this will too. UWorld and Saunders together, amazing. Like, honestly amazing. I remember when I was going through UWorld, I felt like I was, like, some of the questions that I saw on there, I had, like, seen before, kind of worded very similarly to the questions that I got on the NCLEX. So if you're looking for a study guide, use UWorld, try it anyway. And the Saunders book. I like the Saunders book because it gave rationale, but it also gave information. Like it was, I don't really know how to explain it, but it taught you in a way that was that you could use while you were testing, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know how to put it into words, y'all. But Saunders, get the book. I think I said. But anyways, so I got my next authorization to test on February the 5th. So February the 5th, got my authorization test, and I scheduled on my 45th day, which was March 12th. And I scheduled for 8 a.m. I was like, I don't care. I just wanted to get it over with. I think they had later dates, and I was like, 8 a.m. That's my test date. So March 28th comes around. I'm telling you, I did like most of my UWorld questions, and I wish I had, because they email, well, they don't email, they mail you like what you were not so good on. Like they send you your results if you fail, only if you fail, on what you need to work on and stuff like that. And I know like prioritization was like a really big one for me. And some other stuff, but prioritization was like really big. And I did like a lot of those questions. I think I did all the prioritization questions on UWorld. But anyways, where was I? Test day came, and I made sure I ate breakfast, y'all. I made sure that I took snacks. I don't know. This go around, I was a lot more calm, and I don't know if it's because I kind of already knew what to expect. I felt a lot more prepared this go around, just by the amount that I had studied and my study materials. And I just kind of went in there, said my prayer, and went with it. My first break I got was like around question 70. And I was feeling like really good because I felt like, honestly, after using UWorld, that the NCLEX was easy. If if the NCLEX can be considered easy. But compared to the questions that I was getting on UWorld, the questions that were on my test seemed really, really easy. And I felt like I was kind of breezing through them. So much to the point where I was kind of almost like second guessing it. But 70 questions came, and that's around when I got my break. And I was like, I'm going to take my break. So I got up, I took my break, and I gave myself time, y'all. I ate my snack. I went to the bathroom. I got something to drink. I relaxed. I breathe. Don't, if you need to take a break, take a break. Don't rush yourself. Don't get caught up in who's getting up and leaving before you and all that good. Like, don't think about that. Don't take too much time because that the time in your break comes out of your 6 hours. But take time for yourself if you need it. Just breathe, calm down a little bit. So after I took my break, I went back in. I sat down. I don't even think I sat down for a whole hour. It wasn't long because my test cut off at question 89. And I remember getting up out of my seat and knowing I had passed. It just felt different. It just felt different. Like I knew I had passed. I felt like really good. And I remember I had text. One of my friends had texted me and was like, "How did it go?" or whatever. And I'm just like, I did like way better than last time, or I did way worse. Because my test cut off at 89 versus 235. But I feel good. So again, 2 days goes by, 6 a.m., State Board of Nursing, go online, and it says, Amberdeen, licensed, active, registered nurse. And it's something to feel like you have failed and you start like questioning everything, and to like redo something and feel like you did your best, you gave it your all, and it paid off is something just, it's just an unreal feeling. I was so proud of myself, and I called everybody, and I was just on top of the world. Now, let me kind of go into my my job situation. So I told you guys I had got this job, and I really, really wanted this job. Um, it was a residency program, and I called the lady. I let her know that I failed, and she was so sweet. She was so nice, and she was like, "Well, just let us know. See if there's anything. We'll see if anything's open once you pass your second NCLEX. Da 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 da." And I was bummed, and she actually called me back. This is before I took my second NCLEX, and she was like, "Hey, well, we really want you to be in this program, the residency program. So once you take your NCLEX, we will just throw you in with the rest of the group." Mind you, my NCLEX was, I think, one week after everybody else started. Because I think they started like on March 7th, I think. Um, so I didn't take my NCLEX till like a week after everybody else started. And the day of March, I guess, was it March 15th? Or is it the 14th? Was it the 14th? I don't know. But so the day that I found out my results, she called me at, I don't know, it was early, maybe like 8 or 9. I don't know. Like, I hadn't even called her. Like, I didn't need to call her. I didn't have to or anything. She called me and was like, "Hey, did you pass your NCLEX?" And I was like, yes, I did. And she was just, I don't know. But I'm telling you this story because what is for you is for you. Like, it does not matter what type of roadblocks you hit. It does not matter how long it takes you. What is for you, what it's yours, and you can have it. Because I started 2 weeks late, y'all. 2 weeks late, and I felt like I was lacking so much, and I was so embarrassed, so self conscious, and I somehow got the got on or got matched, I guess you can say, with the unit that everybody wanted, and I got the position. So I just know, without all the soapbox, do not get discouraged. Don't get defeated. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of what's yours, your blessings. Don't do that. You know, everything happens for a reason. I probably failed my English so that I could talk to whoever's gonna watch this video. It might not be 200 people, but somebody hopefully will get something out of this. And just know, if you need to talk, you can message me on Instagram, Twitter. You can message me on here if you want. Like, I will talk to you because I know how it feels to be alone or feeling like you're alone, even though you're not. So many people have failed this test, but you are not by yourself. I swear you're not by yourself, and you can do it. I did it. So, I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm just being honest. But I hope I didn't ramble too much. I tried to like group as much in there as I could and not go off the rails, because I know I can do that. I know I can do that. But thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos from me, please let me know what type of videos, and I will post them for you guys. So Thank you so much for watching. Again, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys next time.
One more chance. Worry and honey, give it one more chance. Worry and honey, give it one more chance. Worry and honey, give it one more chance.